Oh, yes.
Welcome back, ladies and gents, boys and girls. Tonight I have another review for you. This time we're going to look at War for Cybertron Siege number 24, Voyager class Starscream. Starscream is a really fun take on the character because he utilizes the old, what we've come to call Tetrajet design from the very first Transformers TV episode, More Than Meets the Eye Part 1. He's going to be the first of at least 3, 4, I suppose, Seekers that are going to be released with this design. The other ones being, the obvious Thundercracker and Skywarp, as well as a rumored Red Wing that may be like a Generation Select based on some leaked info. But this is a toy that people have been waiting a very long time for, like ever since the first Transformers episode aired. Children and now adult collectors have always wanted to see the Seekers as their Tetrajet forms. So I'm happy to be reviewing this guy for y'all. And as you know, we're going to do this the same way we usually do. Take a look at the box, the instructions, the toy itself in both of its modes. I got a couple comparisons for him, and then I'll give my final thoughts. Alright, Starscream's box is standard fare for Siege Voyager. Visual brandings, his name, serial number, city symbol in the background there. On the side, you have this really nice picture of Starscream looking more battle hardened than his usual smirking, cocky self. Like with the other Siege toys, if you shine a black light on this panel, you'll see some new symbols. You get some Cybertronics that spell out the word Null Ray, as in Starscream's signature weapon. If you go to the Transformers website, you can input that code for some unlockable content. Here we have renders of Starscream in his vehicle and robot modes. Takes him 22 steps to transform. Cross cells the Battle Masters, and then standard Siege imagery. Starscream's instructions, nothing new. Unfold like all the other ones. This page, you just have his, transformation. This first bit actually shows you how to transform him correctly into his robot mode because he's a little mistransformed in the box, so it's kind of cool that they did that. On the back side, we have more cross cells and interactivity display with the other size classes, Micromaster, Battle Masters, all that. Here we have a page showing off his signature weapons, the HPI Null Ray Laser Launcher. And he's got 2 of them. Those are, Starscream's most iconic weapons that attach to his upper arms there. Alright, we're back to Starscream's very unique, very cool Tetrajet mode. This thing has a very alien design, vice his usual, F-15 jet mode. And compared to a lot of the other characters, especially like the Autobot cars and them, he is, much more of a departure from his traditional alt mode than those guys are. But he still has a lot of the same design cues, right? Like the blue nose cone, the orange, like cockpit windshield there, the red accents. You can look at this and tell who it's supposed to be. Backswept wings there. Does have a fair amount of undercarriage there, but that's to be expected with pretty much every Starscream toy ever by now. Got his Null Rays hanging on the bottom under his wings. Looks pretty good. Now for my least favorite part of this mode, the back. He's got some good things here. He's got these boosters down here, up here, which is cool. But then you got the obvious Starscream chest right on the back, just there, hanging out. And it doesn't make any sense there. Even if you ignore the fact that, this is recognizable as Starscream's chest. The guy's got a Earth fighter jet cockpit just hanging out the back of his alien alt mode. It looks really weird, and it's a shame they couldn't have found a way to cover that up better. Doesn't ruin the mode by any chance. I mean, the little chest turbines kind of look like maybe they make sense being there, but I don't know. It seems like a concession had to be made somewhere, and this was the concession. Just having his chest right on the back of the alt mode. But that doesn't ruin it for me. The rest of the mode is still really nice. It's very solid. It's not like flimsy at all. The pieces are in there nice and tight, not floppy, feels hefty. I like it. It's not 100% matched to the cartoon model. They took some, artistic license with it, and also, probably logistical implications came in there. But it looks awesome. It looks like an alien version of Starscream's alt mode, which is what it's supposed to be. You can see it's covered in a lot of battle damage paint applications. Really looks like he's been through the ringer, like he just lost a fight or something. And I know a lot of people don't like the battle damage paint apps. Me, they honestly just don't bother me. I don't know, I think my brain kind of tunes them out. I don't really focus on them very much at all. But for some people, it might be a deal breaker. I don't know. I think it's fine. Now, the transformation to get Starscream to his robot mode is really interesting because it's quite different from how he normally goes. You're going to see some creative ways that they significantly alter some transformation elements, but still end up creating something that's very similar to his standard robot mode. Alright, so the first things you want to do, you want to pull out his chest here, and you're about to discover a fatal flaw with this figure. Worst thing about it. Alright, so let's go ahead and detach his chest, unplug it, and oh, what is happening here? Oh no! He's just like Ironhide and has a really weak hinge joint. And it's just as bad, if not worse, than Ironhide's issue with his leg panels. This pops off very easily, especially on this side, and does seem to be, like Ironhide, a pretty universal issue. Now, the interesting thing is if you look at the chest piece, there's holes here that don't have to be. And there's a groove cut into part of this that makes it look like a pin was supposed to be run through this. See? But the gray armature here doesn't follow that train of thought. So it's confusing. It seems like partway through designing this, they originally intended to run a pin or maybe two pins through this guy's chest and then change their minds at some point. Probably for cost cutting, which is an absolute shame because it really hurts this figure when this chest piece is just flopping around and falling off. A pin or two smaller pins running through this would have just completely negated that issue. Negated like the one problem I have with this toy. But, oh well, they didn't do it. Anywho, moving on. So you get that pulled out, right? Let it flop there, pathetically. You're gonna pull out these little thruster things, swing them up, and have it peg into the top here. Kind of click, push it down all the way. There you go, cool. You're gonna pull up his wings off of here. Make sure this bit comes out from under the big nose cone. So it's kind of in there. I don't want to break it, so just be careful. There you go. You're going to lift those wings all the way up, like so, and get them out of the way. And detach his arms from his legs. Kind of just move them out of the way. This bit, you're going to kind of swing up and out just to kind of get some clearance going. You're going to unhook his legs. Now, one thing that's cool, if you look on the back here, these little panels are kind of spring-loaded, which is neat because when his legs are extended, they fill in the back. But when you need to, like, fold them up all the way, you just kind of push these in, and it makes room for him to do that. So that was cool. It's probably where all the budget for his pin went, right there. They did these, and they're like, oh, can't afford a pin now. All right, so you got the legs extended. You're going to turn him at the waist, 180. You're going to flip the fronts and backs of his feet all the way out. So there's a way to stand, like so. Alright, his little arm panels here are gonna swing in, out, chest armature thing, swing forward. That's gonna cause his head to swing out a little bit, so just bring that the rest of the way out. Now the chest, you want to make sure actually plugs in here. You got these notches that go in this kind of little cavity there, like that. All right, he has this panel attached to the back of his head that you want to unplug. Honestly, not sure what the point of this panel is, but you unplug it, then swing it all the way in, all in his back. And his nose cone, you're actually going to separate in half. You're going to pull it apart, like this. And here, this is cool. This is something I really liked. You swing all the way up, like that, and become his shoulder ornaments that he always has. And I thought that was really cool how they did that. Really different take on his transformation. Anyway, swing all this down, and you want to get these to plug into his back. That and that. Alright, got him most of the way there. Now what we want to do is rotate his arms like that. These panels swing open like so. You're going to flip his fists all the way out, and then you're going to extend his arms like so. Close the forearm. Everything on this side. Boop. Flip it out. Extend. Close. Alright, and then the last thing you're really supposed to do, and it's kind of minor, these wings, they rotate. So you just kind of rotate them out a little bit. Give him some more clearance. Kind of do it to taste. And as a finishing touch, go ahead and plug his Norways into his upper arms. Though really they can go anywhere on him that you want. And there you have the newest version of G1 Starscream. And I am a huge fan of this robot mode. I'm really amazed how they did, you know, what used to be thought maybe impossible, where, you know, the old cartoon, they had this really alien jet form that just turned into the Seekers, like F-15 kibble and everything, and this toy comes about as close as you possibly can to pulling that off. You know, it cheats the transformation a little bit, but the end results in both modes are just really impressive. His proportions are fantastic. He's a lot greeblier than Starscreams of the past, and again, that does fall in line with the Siege aesthetic. Personally, I like it. I think it gives the toys a very realistic, like, mecha feel. Some people don't. They prefer the smooth edges. You know, they like their toys to look more like the very blocky cartoon characters. I think this is the way to go, personally. Texturing, love it. A lot of battle damage again. Some may say an excessive amount. I could kind of agree there, especially on his legs. Looks like the guy's been playing in the mud or something. But again, battle damage doesn't bother me so much. This guy's fully articulated, head's on a ball joint. It's got the whole hinge and swivel combination on the shoulders, bicep swivels, double jointed elbows. He has wrist swivel. He has waist swivel, which, you know, the way he's designed oddly, like, bisects the bottom part of his little cockpit chest and causes that to move, which is weird. Legs go up and down, and his little, like, skirt thing goes up with him, which is cool. Single hinge on the knees, ankle tilt, good old ankle tilt. And then obviously, you know, his wings can move around and be posed differently, this and that. Yeah, he's just a really great figure, just at the level of being a good figure. Here he is alongside Power of the Prime Starscream, the last Starscream toy that they did in the main Generations line. And do I even have to say that the new one's better? I mean, ugh. Like, honestly, the only thing I liked about Power of the Prime Starscream was his combined mode. His jet mode and robot modes are just, I mean, ugh. I kind of defended that toy when I reviewed it back in the day. Link in the description, just saying. But when you see this compared to what they can do, it's just, there's just no comparison at all. This toy does a better job of being Starscream despite the radically different alt mode. So here's hoping through generation selects or whatever we get enough limbs to actually finish the Starscream combiner so I can just leave him in combine mode, never look at this mode again. This thing's friggin' nightmare fuel. Another quick comparison with the Hasbro Masterpiece Starscream. This really gives you a good idea of just how well they nailed the aesthetic with this new toy. And again, despite the fact that they have radically different alt modes, they come off looking more or less the same. I mean, especially from the front. You know, they hit all the same cues, everything's, you know, still kind of the same general shape. I would even go as far as to say that this guy kind of looks more well proportioned than the Masterpiece toy did. I know the Masterpiece figure is one of the older Masterpiece molds now and does kind of show its age. I know a lot of people have been saying it's time to redo the Seekers. I don't know how I feel about that just because they've already done like all the Seekers in this mold, which means we have to buy them all over again. Don't know if I'm up for that. But yeah, it is impressive how well this toy emulates what is, you know, considered kind of the default Starscream design. Alright, so this concludes our look at the new Siege Starscream toy. This is definitely one of my favorite figures to come out of the Siege toy line. And I think will really please many a collector, especially those looking for, you know, the old Tetrajet design that we never thought we'd get. But he works well as that and just being Starscream. I can easily see this becoming the new Classics Seeker mold where they just make it into all the things. And I'd be happy to buy them. Yeah, they're $30 a pop. They're more expensive than the old deluxe Seeker mold. But man, they just look so good. I want him, the Coneheads, the Rainmakers, the Welcoming Committee. I want every single one of them done up in this mold. I'll buy them all. I do hope in the subsequent issues of this mold, they do fix this problem and just put a pin through this thing already. Because even though thankfully the chest is held in place in the, you know, final versions of each form that he has, during transformation it's just a pain. It's bound to pop off, flops around, and it's annoying because we know they could have done better. They had planned to do better and then just decided not to. So that really is a shame. But I love everything about this toy otherwise. I think he looks great like this. I love how he's got the jet boosters on his back. Show that, you know, he can still fly around in his robot mode. Love the Tetrajet design. I think it looks awesome and feels solid. And I 100% recommend this toy. I mean, they're starting to hit shelves at Walmarts right now. Online stores should be getting them in here pretty soon. And yeah, definitely pick this guy up. We've already seen renders for Thundercracker, and that toy looks excellent. He's done up in his lighter blue from the cartoon, which is kind of unusual. Usually they go with the darker blue. But it looks good. There's a good spin on this mold. Personally, I'd say collect the whole set. Can't go wrong with these. I'm going to be disappointed if Hasbro doesn't give us the whole army of Seekers. Because this mold really, I can see it having some staying power. How they would end up delivering all that, I don't know. Maybe through the Selects line. Maybe something else down the road, who knows. But enough gushing. You've obviously heard how I feel about the toy. How do you feel about it? Is it what you wanted in a Tetrajet Starscream and just a Starscream toy in general? Love to hear your thoughts on it down below. If you like this video, go ahead and toss it a thumbs up. If you want to see more reviews like it or any of my other Transformers related content, make sure to hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell so you always get notified when I post something new. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.